Hey everybody, welcome back to Gun Totin' Minnesota. My name is Andrew, and what you're looking at here is a Reiff Knives CIRCADIAN. This happens to be the sheep's foot design. It's got an awesome Kydex sheath. I'm just going to go right into it right now. So the Kydex sheath has lots of rivets to it, lots of lashing points, if you will, and I've added on the Ulti clip. It actually comes with a tech lock, which is a fantastic option. Has a nice drainage hole, good retention, and it does snap into place and pop off just like you saw there. Here's the blade. Overall length is 7.25 inches. The blade length is 3.28 inches with a cutting edge of 3.13. Blade width is an impressive 1.23 inches. Blade thickness is 0.12 inches, and the blade material is CPM MagnaCut, which is really hot right now for obvious reasons. The hardness on this is going to be 61 to 63 HRC. Blade style is a sheep's foot. The edge type is plain. Blade grind is technically a flat saber, according to the website. Finish is stone wash, which I really prefer. I love blades without any sort of coating on them like this. It's great for working with food and around campsites as well. Handle length is 3.97 inches with a handle width of 1.09 inches. That's why it's extremely comfortable in the hand. And then additionally, the handle thickness is 0.72 inches. So it's not, really fat in the pocket, but it's also not ultra slim to the point where it's uncomfortable. Good thickness handle scales, and that's black canvas micarta. It's really, really unique. Yet this blade only comes in at 4.1 ounces. It's very lightweight. I appreciate this package. It's probably going to be one of the most popular fixed blades of 2025. All right, what I've been doing here is processing a little bit of watermelon using a couple different blades so far. I've already done previous videos using the Reiff Knives F6, and the F6 is awesome for pretty much everything. It's a great bushcraft knife. The Vicon, which is dropping, this one right now being one of the freshest Reiff knives, I've got to say it's one of the ones I'm most excited about. First time trying out this texture on the handles from Reiff Knives, and I'm a big fan. Really, really like it, actually. I think I probably prefer this for the application of this blade especially. And then this is the newest member to my collection anyways. This one is also in MagnaCut, and it's the CIRCADIAN. Let's do a little bit of this. I've cleaned off my blade because if it touches food, I'm going to make sure I'm not transferring over gross stuff or tape or residual nastiness from anything else. Take the seeds out. Let's see what I can do. This is not what a blade like this is intended for, but it should be able to handle something as simple as watermelon. That would be my opinion. It does have a little bit of a kitchen-esque shape and feel to it. It's one of the reasons I actually like it. It's just practical. And yeah, worked really good. Actually, that pointy tip didn't become an issue for me, but when it comes to this, it's extremely sharp and precise. And for kitchen cuts, CIRCADIAN is going to be awesome for something like this. This is obviously a lot more depth and mass than you would normally handle with an EDC blade, and an EDC blades you don't always use in the kitchen, but I tend to a lot. Let's see how this can do. Cut through. It got pretty darn close to all the way through. That's one benefit of an extended blade that's a little bit longer than some of my folding knives that are like that long. This little bit extra allows me to do a little more with practical cutting, even with cardboard. I've really found that I appreciate this extended reach compared to my tiny blades, which they might be nice to EDC from time to time, but then when it's time to actually do work or use them, they do have some pretty obvious limitations. This one is very wieldy, and that tip is something I like. As much as I like the belly of a lot of the blades that I typically use for bushcraft and that sort of thing, EDC tasks wise, this one's awesome. And the belly is awesome for kitchen work and cutting through things. Just slicing through things. I mean, it knifes well. It does exactly what it's supposed to well. Very thin and precise. and you can drive the point down to make contact with whatever you're cutting, and then the rest of the blade is just going to slice through. So I probably will be retouching that blade tip more often than I do with other blades, but that's because it's doing a lot of the work, where in a normal knife, the belly would take a lot of the brunt of that cut. You can see that that tip is the first thing to make contact. MagnaCut is fairly corrosion resistant, so I'm just not terribly worried about this thing rusting, but I always wash my blades that are EDC blades and are going to likely touch food again in the future. And because I'm such a snob, I'll probably eat these last slices here, the little bits of food. I just can't stand wasted food. Yeah. Slicing is really where it's at with this one. The push cuts, not quite as much. But man, this thing is like wicked sharp. And it's very effective even on the thick hull of the watermelon. All right, I have some double thick cardboard here. And the grain is actually going this way. As you can see, this is the direction of the grain. I'll do a little bit of cross cutting. And then I'll go with the grain. I'll kind of go back and forth and see what I think. Down the seam. Pretty easy. And I find that the actual tip on this does poke in pretty good with cardboard. When I've had to press in, it doesn't seem like it's inferior to a clip point, actually. There's still a nice acute edge for puncturing in. And man, does this thing slip through. It's really not a terribly thick piece of steel, which I appreciate. I wouldn't want this to be super thick for an EDC, but it just slices through incredibly well. Let's go against the grain a little bit. No resistance, like buttery smooth. I did just strop this after using it for a couple weeks. No sharpening, just stropping. Double thick cardboard, and this isn't particularly hard. Sometimes hard density cardboard cuts better. This is a little bit soft and spongy because of the humidity. But it's flying through that stuff. If you can see, it's just flinging it. Yeah, very comfortable. Going with the grain obviously is going to be even better, but against the grain, no trouble. That works really, really well. Out of interest to see what the slicing capability is on cardboard. As long as that tip is making connection, it is slicing through extremely well. Better than a clip point, I would say, because of the tip. There's a couple hangers in there. Definitely penetrates through, but you're not going to get the same kind of penetration you would with a Tonto. Let's go against the grain and slice through this way. All the way through, perfect cut, absolutely perfect cut. Super clean edges. All that's telling me is that the tip and the edge is very uniform and that it's capable for that utility work, EDC tasks that I'm going to be doing pretty much every single day or week, and it's going to have no trouble doing them. There's nothing inferior about a sheep's foot design or some of those drop points. I think as long as you keep it nice and thin, which this one is, it's kind of tapered down to the tip, you can make this as effective or more effective than a Tonto for certain cutting applications. And I've shown you that between the kitchen and EDC tasks, this design is actually more beneficial than a clip point is for me much of the time. This is not a woodworking blade for me. I have other Reiff knives that I would prefer over this, like the F4, even the F3, or the newest Vicon. I've enjoyed those quite a bit. But it's an EDC blade, so I need it to be able to do some basic chores, like a little bit of tinder work, just in case this is the only knife I have in my pocket. I've got a hard piece of, I don't even know what kind of wood this is, but I'm trying to do some small curls against it, and it doesn't look like it's any trouble. The edge has been stropped a few times. Let's just push into this. Okay. This is a very hard piece of wood, I can tell. it's not going to take big bites out of the wood. I just don't believe that's going to be its primary calling. So I'm not going to use it for a woodworking blade. It would do fine for tent stakes, making pegs, especially out of softer wood. Making feather sticks, I'm confident it would be just fine for making feather sticks. Like I said, just finding where the edge is and pushing down. It doesn't look like that's going to be difficult at all to make feather sticks. But I wouldn't suggest this as a woodworking tool or a primary knife for that sort of thing. It's mostly going to be relegated to EDC tasks and smaller things like making a little bit of fire prep, small amount maybe. Doing the feather sticks, that sort of thing is fine. A little bit of light processing, very small amount of processing. It is magna cut, so I think it's got sufficient toughness. But I would be more inclined to use one of the other Reiff knives for that, and then keep this in my pocket as the EDC for opening things, dicing up cardboard, cutting up zip ties, or kind of average EDC tasks because of this shape, especially stuff in the kitchen. I think it does really well with those applications.
Your eyes are blue.
Caleb really has a big thing.
Caleb, what color is this? Like that one. Yeah.
What color is Riley's fruit?
Pink.
Pink.
Pink. Oh, this is a color he needs to know.
Yours is like gray.
Caleb, what color is this? Camouflage. No, wait, Daddy. Wait, you would cut it short.
My shirt is called camouflage.
It's what is color for that one? What's outside?
When it comes to the warranty now, that's a really important thing because blades can break, stuff happens, and Reiff Knives says on their website that these are heirloom quality tools and they should last a lifetime. So they say if your knife is defective or it suffers a catastrophic failure during use, they're going to repair or replace it. Obviously, it's going to be replacing it most of the time at no cost to you. That's how it's advertised on the website, and I trust them because Reiff Knives is a family-owned business, and when you invest in a Reiff knife, they're going to treat you like family. You become part of that family, and they're really good with that. They have almost a cult-like following, and they're doing really well because of the way that they take care of customers if anything happens. But honestly, they go above and beyond the normal replacement. Even if you have it lost or stolen, if there's proof, if you have a police report, they're going to get you another one in your hand. This is an awesome, fully transferable warranty. It doesn't expire, and it's exactly what I expect from a brand like this. They're so good to the knife community, and I recommend the blade. So truly, I can't see any job where this wouldn't be efficient for EDC carry. I think it covers all the bases really well for me when it comes to ergonomics, weight, carry options, and actual design and materials. Yes, this is a high quality blade that I actually carry, and I think you would too. I thought originally that it might be a little too big, but it isn't. It's actually very ideal. It carries really nice with the Ulti clip in my front pocket. Had to add a little bit of a wedge there so that it would fit the right way with the Ulti clip, but that wasn't more than a few seconds of modification, and now I'm really happy with that fit. And then when I want to wear it on a belt, a lot of times I'll just go back to the tech lock that it comes with because that's a great carry option. This is the first of a few videos I'm going to make on this blade. If you want to see more about that, comment down below what you want to see it used in or what kind of environment you think this should be tested in. So far, these are the kind of things I actually do with an EDC blade, and it is passing with flying colors. Well done to Reiff Knives. Absolutely love this one, and if you like this, then you should stick around because the next review is going to be on the Vicon.